Hello everyone, this is Faisal, certified high performance coach and a lifelong student of philosophy, spirituality, and sciences. We have with us Adam Dare one more time. Welcome to another training session because we got a lot of good responses from the last session. Adam Dare wanted to do another training video for you guys, so this is going to be another joint venture. Go ahead, Adam, introduce yourself quickly.
Hi Faisal, hello YouTubers. Adam Dare, your personal fitness expert, weight loss expert. I do personal training, martial arts, life coaching, success coaching. I'm an entrepreneur. And those of you all who watched my last video, thanks a lot for the comments and the compliments. Appreciate it. We've got an exciting video. So one of the most exciting topics I personally like to talk about, which affects all of us, is what we're going to discuss today. So hopefully you get some value out of it. Hopefully you're going to learn something different and take it with you. Crush it.
For sure. So today we're gonna talk about beliefs and belief systems. How do we actually form our beliefs? How do they affect us in our life, in our personal life, in our professional life, and everything else that we do? And Adam's gonna start off with that. I'm gonna ask Adam that question. So, how do our beliefs affect us, Adam, based on your experience as a life coach, trainer, personal trainer, fitness trainer? How does it affect us, and how is it formed?
All right, so this is an extremely interesting topic to me because I come across so many different types of people, housewives, CEOs, athletes, regular corporate American people, entrepreneurs, brides, career changes, need to get in shape to build their confidence, low self-esteem, high self-esteem. I mean, I've come across so many people. And I have really learned that weight loss, getting in shape, fitness, taking that first step to work with a personal trainer, to work with a coach, to get on a paid self-invested exercise program, it has a lot to do with awareness, it has a lot to do with belief system, psychology, it has a lot to do with where you're in life, what place you're at, has a lot to do with self-love or maybe low self-esteem or whatever it is. The point is, when you're in a certain place, in your life where you hit a wall, when you come to a stop and you're like, you know what, I need to do something for myself. I need to do self-investment. I need to make sure I take care of myself. I have now made the decision to be aware of start looking. So I'll give you an example, right? So I meet a lot of people in the gym, in my daily life, whatnot. 95% of the time I meet don't pull the trigger right there and then. Okay? They'll probably watch me, observe me. They'll be aware that a trainer is present in the gym. I mean, everyone sees trainers training people, but it's when they're completely ready to pull that trigger, they'll take that step. So one example is, I'll get a very simple client who's getting married. This woman is excited about a dress. She's excited about getting her arms in shape or whatnot, and she's, a year later, she's going to call me and say, hey, I want to work with you. Or another person, another person's going to have some sort of a change in her personal life or his life, some sort of a job change, some sort of a lifestyle change, and that person has known me for a while or trainer for a while, and that person's going to take that step to work on them. So that's awareness. That's coming to a point where you've decided that you want to change, you want to feel, and you start with yourself. That's why it's called personal training, which really means that you're actually taking the time and the energy to invest in yourself. And yourself is the best asset. The other example I notice is a lot of people have been turned off or traumatized or have a negative belief system or negative attitude towards exercising or training or fitness or the gym or lifting weights or building muscle looking all buff and toned or whatnot. A lot of people have that. And I am so blessed that I get to be in a position to turn them on using flip psychology. Okay, so let me tell you what flip psychology is. Right? Let's say a woman comes up to me, says to me, I hate the gym, I hate exercising, I have a problem losing weight, I don't know what to do, I'm not motivated, I don't feel like myself, you know, and I uncover why that person is against exercise, why she has a negative connotation against exercise, and I end up finding out that her, or if it's a gentleman, I'm speaking hypothetically, him, their gym teacher turned them off against exercise. Their gym teacher pushed them so hard or criticized them that they always viewed exercise as something so difficult for them. And instead of having positive encouragement, it was criticism. And it was negative criticism. It wasn't constructive criticism. It wasn't positive criticism. And years later, when the gentleman is in his 40s or the woman is in her 30s, she views all gym or exercise experience as a negative thing in her life, you know. And when a rock star personal trainer comes in and says, look, there's nothing negative about taking care of yourself, looking fit, being healthy, taking care of your body, your mind, your soul. Don't forget, exercise is more about your soul than your body. It's more internal, and then the byproduct of it comes out external. So belief system has a lot to do with weight loss. It's a very, very new topic. A lot of people don't talk about it, you know. I love to talk about it because now I'm at a point in my career when I talk about weight loss and fitness or help people out, I try to dig deeper. Why is it that they haven't done it? So I'll give you another example, right? The other day, another woman has heard about me, and she asked me if I could give her a consultation. And you know, person's in her 40s, high-end job in corporate America in New York City. And I said, why haven't you taken that step? Why now? You know, I'm curious. What makes today important to make this move? And she said she grew up in a culture, in a time, in a society where nobody else was exercising, nobody was into fitness, nobody was into going to the gym or taking care of herself, and now surely things are different in that culture, and now she wants to make the move. You know, so that's one other example of how, like, our beliefs, our culture values, or people that we are around, our environment shapes our awareness, our belief systems, and, you know, how we think, how we're raised, and whatnot. So to me, this shows me that fitness, exercise, being strong and being healthy, being confident, these are all teachable traits. You follow me? Right. So if someone tells me, I'm not going to lose weight, or I possibly couldn't have pecs as big as yours, or there's just no way I could have pool weather or confidence that the other guy that's hanging around the pool deck, then I say, well, if you say it, then you're probably not going to do it. And they don't understand that. So I say, well, think about it. What did you just say? And when they repeat that, I say, if you say it, this probably means that you believe it, right? And if you believe it, this probably means that you're not going to do it. That's a very hard concept for people to understand. So I then work on, increasing awareness, and I explain to them how important it is to only say things that you believe. But in order for you to say things that you believe, you actually have to be aware of it. In order for you to be aware of it, you actually have to take the time to understand what negative belief systems are, negative patterns are. And then you got to say, all right, so now I'm aware of my patterns, now I'm aware of my belief systems. Where did it come from? What do I do to flip the script on it? That's one example.
Oh, that's really great. You brought up great points, and especially related to fitness, because I've actually had clients, even though I'm not a personal trainer in terms of fitness, clients who had difficulty even going to the gym, thinking that they're too embarrassed about their body, and their body self-image is related to what they believe about themselves. let me put this whole thing in terms of a framework, so it becomes people get it from a different perspective too. So how do we develop beliefs? Just like Adam was saying that there will be some one of his clients, he or she came to him, and she was criticized by a gym teacher. And gym teachers deal with us at a younger age, and at that age we don't really think enough for ourselves to conclude, to say that, okay, no, it wasn't me, it was the gym teacher who had a negative attitude towards me. But what that person actually concluded was that it was his or her ability that stopped him or her from being able to be fit. So what that means is that the way we form beliefs from early age, whether that be from childhood or later on in the years, usually beliefs, much of our beliefs are formed in childhood, in the first 7 or 8 years of our life. So the way it's formed is we are exposed to an idea repeatedly. So for example, from my perspective, let's say you heard your parents or your uncle or aunt or somebody influential in your family talk about the world being a very dangerous place. Or in another case, it might be that you were exposed to an experience where you felt like it was you were exposed to danger, or you met with a couple of guys or girls who attacked you in some way. And that happened a couple of times. And based on those two experiences, you concluded that the world is a dangerous place. And nobody else made sense of it for you, and that became part of your emotional structure. So an idea or an experience has to be repeated multiple times, and it has to emotionally affect you. Given enough time, that idea becomes part of who you are. So that becomes, given enough time, and then what your mind tries to do is, because you've already accepted it emotionally, it looks for evidence of that being true. And we live in a time where it's not hard to look for the evidence of the world being a dangerous place. So if you turn on the TV, they'll let you know that the world is a dangerous place. And it's true with many other things that we go through. I'll give you an example of one of my clients. She believed that she needed to be independent, financially independent, because she was told by her father that no matter what, you need to be financially independent. And this client of mine, she was married with 2 kids, and she had a husband, and they were living a comfortable life. But for some reason, she never felt like she was independent because she was not working full-time. Even though their finances were together, they were doing okay. When we went deeper into what she thought, she associated financially independent with being independent in general. Even though she was very independent, she took care of her kids, she worked part-time, she went to college for what she wanted to do, but she never felt independent because the finances was not something that she was bringing in. And that became part of not only financial independence, but independence in other ways. So she thought that she was not an independent person because she was not financially independent. She was affected by her father emotionally, that unless you're financially independent, you're not enough as a person. And that affected most of her life. And then as soon as she realized that, okay, well, I am a very independent person, and I can work towards financial independence. Another client of mine thought that to forgive people, you have to let them walk all over you. But, and that's something many people are confused about, that forgiveness has to do with letting go of emotional burdens. But it doesn't have to do with allowing people to walk all over you. That has to do with your personal boundaries. So she didn't understand the difference between the two, because most people are confused about these two things. And she thought that if she forgave somebody by letting go of the negative thoughts, she would be letting other people walk all over her. And that created a system in her life where she was always holding on to negative energy, negative thoughts about people, about herself and her life. So these are a couple of examples. Now, what this means is that your beliefs are formed based on a system. Like I said, repetition of idea plus emotional effect plus time plus evidence, and that forms your beliefs. Now, how do we change them? Like Adam said before, you need to become aware of your beliefs. How do you become aware of them? You become aware of your thoughts. And I'll give you one simple tip for that, and then Adam's going to go into it further. One thing that I learned in terms from a spiritual perspective is that we need to become aware of our thoughts and emotions. We need to pay attention to them, not in the sense that we need to argue with ourselves in our head like most people do, our self-dialogue, self-talk, where we're putting ourselves down, criticizing ourselves. But what we need to do is look at our thoughts like we look at somebody walking by, or somebody having a conversation in front of us, or a car driving by, as if you're observing your thoughts just as you are observing something in your external environment. And something interesting about thoughts in our internal environment is that it's just like the external environment, like the fridge in your house. It has a noise. Your thoughts are the same way. They're noise. You observe them. If it's affecting you negatively, you pay attention to them and see how you can change them. But if it's affecting you positively, then that's a great thing. So pay attention to your habitual thought patterns and your actions, and that'll make you more aware of whether or not your beliefs are affecting you positively or negatively. And Adam's going to go into a little bit more into how you can change your beliefs.
You know, I think that's what you just said is amazing, because that's awareness. And awareness it's like Alcohol's Anonymous, right? You got to be aware that you have a problem. Okay, yeah. So are you aware that you've got a junk food eating problem? Are you aware that you've got a laziness problem? Are you aware that you should be taking better care of yourself and exercising? Are you aware that you should be walking? Are you aware that, walking to the mall is exercise, but if you want to, let's face it, if you want to look good, be tight, be shapely, then you got to lift weights and eat well. Are you aware of all that? So these are all examples. So the way I coach people, my clients, I tell them it's a very matter-of-fact psychology, right? So you've got one example, which is the Pavlov's theory. So the Pavlov's scientific experiment was ring the bell, give the dog the food, the dog salivates. If I hear the story, repeat that a bunch of times, multiple times, then every time you ring a bell, no food, the dog salivates, right? So those of you out there, you guys get the message, what I'm trying to say, what example I'm trying to prove here. Okay, so same thing. How does someone build their arms, okay? Or how does someone build their legs or their glutes? Or how do you get into the habit of exercise? Okay, so basically what you do is you first find out what your goal is. So if my goal is to lose fat, look good, feel confident in my skin, and be a better version of myself, I want to go seek out research, hire a professional, go to the gym, do what it takes, and then do it. On day 1, do it on day 2, do it on day 3, eat well, sleep well, start reading about it. On day 99, okay, I guarantee you that muscle, the muscle of discipline, the muscle of hitting the gym, the muscle of being aware, the muscle of making good decisions over bad decisions, good choices, healthy choices over non-healthy choices, all that stuff is going to be much, much sharper. That muscle is going to be stronger. So just like we have physical muscles in our body, we also have emotional muscles. We also have psychological muscle. We also have thinking muscles. We also have, the muscle of gratefulness. Your grateful fitness. Are you grateful 100 times a day, every day, for the coffee you have, for the 2 legs that carry you to the station, whatnot? Are you grateful for the fact you have a job that brings home a paycheck, that can feed you, shelter you, clothe you? Okay, so belief systems, like any muscle, have to be retrained, or like bad habits have to be replaced. Okay, so once again, I call it the flip psychology. I'm a fundamental believer in having a very positive inner dialogue. So let's use that classic person who's been traumatized by the gym and thinks that the gym is bad, fitness is bad, exercise is bad, I'm not good at it, I suck at it, I don't look great, I've got I've got body image issues. The gym is only for tanned, muscular people, you know, who spike up their hair and who do GTL, gym, tan, and laundry. Okay, so that person now has to question itself. After me being aware that I've been traumatized, I've had a negative experience because I've had a, you know, horrible experience in my high school and my gym teacher criticized me and whatnot. Now I'm a 38-year-old woman. I've got to make sure that I am responsible for how I think. Is the gym bad? It's not bad. It's going to teach me how to be healthy and take care of myself. Okay, so why do I feel bad about it? Well, there's everyone and they're in better shape and they've got better bodies and they're going to look at me. Are they actually looking at me? No, everyone's got their headphones on. Everyone today has got their HD syndrome, which is heads down on their phone. You know, I mean, a lot of people are just on a machine. They'll do one set and they'll wait 6 minutes before they do another set because they're on their phone. You know, that's a whole different conversation. That's what I call gym etiquette. I've got to write a blog about it, you know. But people are not watching people. I mean, if everyone was watching people, the gym would be the best place to pick up a guy or a girl for all the single people out there, right? But they're not. You know, that's why dating apps are on. So the gym is not full of people that are watching you. Everyone's in their own little headspace, you know, their own universe. Now, whether we want to criticize them or not, that's not what this talk is all about. So the woman says, all right, fine, no one's watching me, okay? Third, I don't know what to do. Okay, well, now we've, you know, you're a grown woman, you make a nice salary, you've got a nice high-end job, you don't think you can find out or hire a professional or read a book or go online and start doing the research process about what to do? So now it comes up, now the conversation changes from, hey, exercise is bad, to like, oh, shoot, you know, I've got to figure this out. This is going to be an interesting project for 2017. How do I get Michelle in shape? How do I get Jamie in shape? How do I get myself in shape? I've got to now read about it. The same thing happens if you want to go from a mutual fund, investing in mutual fund for the normal people like us, to become a day trader. How do you become a day trader, right? I have a friend that's a day trader now. He said the same thing as building muscle. I picked up a book and I read about it. Did he say, no, day traders are for those stock brokers and those geeks, and I'm a former personal trainer and I can't be a day trader because I'm just not good with math? No, he said, how did he do it? How does Wall Street do it? Okay, well, I guess I have to learn about it. Then he picked up a book. He picked up another book. Then he started playing with it a little bit. Then he did it. And 7 years later, he's replaced his income. You know, how did I learn martial arts? How did I get my black belt? It was a skill, right? I never went in saying, oh, well, you know, I'm not good enough for it. You understand what I mean, right? So the whole idea, the whole psychology is, first, awareness. Second, where it came from. Third, flip the script on and say, okay, well, if I really want to get in shape, then what's holding me back? A lot of people make excuses. What I call them masking. All right, so they say lack of time. I don't have time. Okay, lack of, I don't know what to do. Okay, but what's really going on is, if they brought themselves from a place of being completely honest with themselves, okay, do I really not have lack of time? Do I really not know what to do? If I really want to get somewhere, then why don't I hire someone or pick up a book or read about it? Why don't I make 30 minutes out of my day? That's why I always say that your internal dialogue, you know, your ability to be completely honest with yourself is extremely important. Extremely important, because if you are, it's going to save you a lot of headaches and possibly take you to much higher levels of success. Personal, professional, spiritual, emotional, mental, whatever your success definition is, you know, financial.
Yeah, those are really great points. And what Adam is talking about is our conscious choices, our way of life that's based on conscious choices, not just based on thoughts and ideas that we've had with us from a long time ago. I mean, anybody that you talk to, they have some kind of limiting beliefs, whether that be towards money, that money is the root of all evil, or that's towards some group of people where these people are a certain way and I don't like them, or it is towards their own ability to do things, that, oh, I can't do this. But like Adam said, that one of the most important things I've learned as an entrepreneur is that we need evidence for us to know most of the time whether or not we'll be able to do it. And most of the things that you do in life, somebody has done it. So if you don't think you can do it, go read up about, learn about somebody else who's done what you're doing. If you're in fitness, go study Adam's story. If you want to become an entrepreneur, go study somebody who's done very well as an entrepreneur. And
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, and listen to what he did, and you'll find that most people start out from a very, very simple from very small steps. They don't start out becoming millionaires or successful or fulfilled in their life just all of a sudden. They had to work towards it. They had to put in the effort, the time, the consistency, the energy towards it, and that's how they went towards it. Now, then, your beliefs are always going to try to hold you back. And the tip that I gave you about being aware of your thoughts, that will be the one thing that you can use in conjunction with your conscious choices, where regardless of what you believe and what you think, you're going to go towards progress. You're going to go towards what makes your life better, what makes you better. So how do you deal with that? You observe your thoughts. You observe the thoughts that repeat in your head. Adam talked about internal dialogue. Now, you can create a positive internal dialogue, but your negative internal dialogue will still be there. You can't fight that, because you'll find that the more you fight it, the more it increases in magnitude and repetition. So what you do is you observe it. And as you're observing it, you keep replacing it with positive thoughts. You keep adding positive thoughts to it. And positive thought means that I can do what I want to do. I believe in my ability to do it. Get up every day and write down a plan. This is what I want to do today. I want to go to the gym. I want to work on my business that I'm creating. I want to get better in my job. I want to become better in my relationship. Whatever it is you're doing, make up a plan for it. This is how you override your thinking patterns. Write it down. Create a diary for yourself where you keep track of what you're doing. A lot of people think that they don't have time, but no, that's not necessarily true. We have 16 hours in a day. Even if you work full time for 8 hours, you have another 8 hours to work on whatever you want to do. And that could be a hobby, a passion. That could be you going to the gym for an hour or two, which everybody makes an excuse about, but you can go there. But what prevents you is not the time. What prevents you is your belief about the time. What you believe, whether or not you have the time. And we make up things in our minds. And pay attention to those. You make up excuses. We're always running our thoughts based on excuses. Oh, I can't do this because I have to work on that project. And sitting there and thinking about the project, you don't actually do the project. You think about doing the project, and you spend 3 hours not doing the project. In that time, you could have gone to the gym and come back and actually work on the project. But the point is that most of us come up with excuses not to do something based on our beliefs, our limiting beliefs. So pay attention to your thoughts, become self-aware. And the more you do that, the more your life will change. And another thing that Adam brought up was really great, was that you need to always ask yourself, if you believe that you can't build up the muscle that you want to, why do you believe that? Where did you get that idea from? You need to figure that out. You need to ask yourself. And you'll find that most of the time it's somebody gave you that thought in your community, in your society, in your culture, that you can't do that. It doesn't just naturally happen where we think that we can't. A child doesn't say to itself that, oh, I can't walk. It doesn't have those kind of thoughts. It crawls and then starts to go, it falls a bunch of times, and then it starts to hold on to a chair, to the wall. It falls thousands of times, and eventually it ends up, he or she ends up walking. But we have this thought where before we even start, we think that we can't do it. And that's what Adam was referring to, is that if you already have that belief in your mind that you can't do it, you're confirming it to yourself that you can't do it. And you are the person that's going to be encouraging yourself more than anybody else. You need to motivate yourself the other way around. So your internal dialogue has to shift from I can't do it, I'll figure it out, even if I don't know how. Go read a book on it. Go watch a video on it. Go to the gym, even if you're afraid. You have the ability to go despite your fears. No, it sounds funny, but it's true. People are afraid to go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Fear not.
Yeah. So if you pay attention to those things. Oh, and one final thing. Be very, very open to learning. Whatever new you learn, whether you're watching this video, reading a book, put aside your beliefs. And how do you put aside your beliefs? When you start paying attention to your thoughts, you'll be able to put aside your beliefs. Right now, your life is being run by repetitive thoughts. But if you start to observe them, you'll notice that they're just noise. You don't need to let noise control your thoughts. So if you get angry at somebody, you don't need to really lash out. You need to let that thought go through you. Most people think that if they lash out at that person, they get rid of it. What they do is they attach another emotionally negative reaction to themselves. And like Adam pointed out, Pavlov's dog theory is that you're conditioning yourself to be more angry all the time, instead of paying attention to why you're angry. There's a reason why you're angry, and you're being triggered by somebody based on something that you believe or something that you went through in life. And the more you pay attention to your thoughts, to how you feel, the more you realize that you have much control in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it in terms of what I wanted to say. Did you want to add something else?
No, I think Faisal, that's great. You know what? Again, I like to repeat, if there's anything that you can learn from this video, is that your belief system has everything to do with everything in your life. If you guys want to be in shape, if you guys want to lose weight, if you guys want to look good and do something for yourself, ask yourself, what's holding you back? Okay, and then if you guys start giving yourself excuses like, oh, I haven't the time, and I don't know what to do, and I kept running, and I don't know. When you say I don't know, then for all those people that use the words I don't know, next time I challenge you guys. I invite you guys, I encourage you guys to say, okay, internally in your heads, all right? I don't know. I want you guys to then pop up another question. Okay, why don't I know the answer to a question that I'm asking myself? Mm-hmm. Isn't that something? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, why don't I know what the answer to this question is? I don't have time. Why don't you have time? I don't know. Okay, well, why don't you know why you don't have time? See, what
they haven't got taken the time to sit down, how much time they have.
Okay, fine. That's the answer to those people who say I don't know to I don't have time. All right. Next, why don't you work out? I don't know.
Right.
Faisal, why don't I work out? I don't know. How would you solve that?
Oh, well, ask yourself, why don't you work out? When you say I don't know, that means that you're too lazy to come up with an answer.
Correct.
You can say, well, I don't have time. Okay, well, how much time do you actually have? And then you can write down the number of hours that you spend on TV, the number of hours that you spend watching YouTube videos. Hopefully you'll watch our YouTube videos, but
well, that's
the number of times on Facebook. That's another thing. Or if you actually keep track of, just like you can keep track of your money, you can keep track of your time. And then you will see that, okay, well, I'm spending these 3 hours just lying down watching 3 episodes in a row of Grey's Anatomy, for example.
Right.
Well, you can watch 1 episode, it's fine, but then the other 2 episodes, you can go to the gym. Well, you're going to come up with another excuse. Well, I don't feel energetic enough to go to the gym, or I feel like I'm not going to get anything done. Well, why do you believe that? Well, I believe that because I was told by somebody. Usually you're told by somebody, or something in your mind, whatever that is. When you run out of excuses, you're going to have to take action. But for you to run out of excuses, you have to do the work of asking yourself, why don't you do it? And most of the time, it's just that you haven't sat down, taken the time to plan what you want to do.
So yeah, no, exactly, because I think it just starts with that one thing that we talked about, you know, what you just clarified from a life coaching perspective. When someone says, "Oh, I don't know," I always say, "Okay, well, when you know the answer to a question that you should know because that's your answer, then text me." That's what I say. I say, call me when you know the answer to a very simple question. Yeah. But here's the thing. It isn't that simple. Too many people don't want to either go through the trouble of digging in deep and asking themselves, or they actually know it, but they don't want to face it. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, which leads to a whole different topic. There's so much noise out there in our head, like you said. It's a constant record, right? It's like, pardon my French, constant record. It's like bullshit constantly playing, which holds us back from the life that we could be living and that we're meant to be living. We're meant to be living great lives. So my company has a T-shirt. It's my motto. It's a slogan I live by. You ready? Can you read that?
Anyway, repeat what you just said.
It says allergic to bullshit. So anytime something comes in my head, which I know is just a negative belief pattern, which I know is what I call is just head noise, right? We all have head noise. It's just going around 1,000 thoughts going, and 1,000 useless thoughts. Oh, I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. What if this happens? What if that happens? I say, you know what? All that is bullshit, and I'm allergic to bullshit. Yeah. I only want to do and face facts. I want facts. What's the fact? Oh, you know what? It hasn't been proven that I can't do that. It hasn't been proving that I shouldn't do this. It hasn't been proving what if I do that, that will happen. That's just if, he, should, could, would it. You follow me?
Yeah, and when you actually think deeper about what Adam just said, most of your thoughts that you have in your mind, like you said, it's bullshit. It's not real. They are thoughts given to you by your teacher, by your family, by your society, by a culture. You haven't analyzed those thoughts. They're just thoughts being run because you've heard them over and over, and they have an effect on your life. The effect is that you're not aware of them, and they're running your life somehow. Because you're there's one quote I kept here, and I want to probably, I don't know if I can remember it. It's a very powerful quote, but I can never seem to remember exactly what it is. Let me see if I can remember it. So it was said by Gandhi, and it's sometimes attributed to Lao Tzu, the Chinese mystic. So your beliefs create your thoughts. Your thoughts create your words. Your words create your action. Your action creates your habits, and your habits create your character, and your character creates your destiny. And there's a lot of truth in that. Become aware of your beliefs and your thoughts, and you'll find that you will change everything that follows that. You will change your actions, you'll change your character, you'll change your destiny in life. And how do you do that? You become aware. It's such a simple idea, but most people are not used to being aware of it. It's not a complicated idea, it's just an unknown idea. People don't know much about it. So they don't do it. But when you become aware of your thoughts, you'll find that there's, and another thing I actually learned recently was that when you actually pay attention to your thoughts, you can actually hear the tone of voice of somebody that gave you that thought. You can hear your parent talking to you in your head. You can hear your friend talking to you in your head. You can hear a teacher talking to you in your head. These are all thoughts that are given to you. But what you need to do is become aware of it, first of all, put them on hold. Don't take action based on those thoughts, unless, like Adam said, there's facts associated with it. The facts have to be analyzed by you, not by somebody else. And when you analyze those facts and take action based on those facts, your life changes completely. And I think that's about it. Is that it, Adam?
That's it. I mean, if you guys have questions, anyone out there, I welcome everyone to write me an email. The best way to get hold of me is to go on my website, which is ownyourfitness.net. So if you punch that in Google, ownyourfitness.net, me and my brand will show up. Just send me an email through my contact email and say, hey, I'd like to ask you about this. Or just go to my YouTube channel, which is, if you type in Own Your Fitness, our company logo is a lion logo right here. Okay? So that's it. I mean, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we've got a website. Website's the best way. If you punch that in Google, everything will show up. But we welcome questions and comments. If anyone likes to add everything to it, that'd be great. Send us something that you think has been belief system in your mind that now you're aware of, and now you've flipped the script on it and then succeeded. Whether it's the gym, whether it's fitness, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, whether it's dating, whether it's it's financial, emotional, mental, So we just want to make sure that we help as many people out there and share, and really inspire people to live a life that is worth living and that we're all meant to be. I'm always on that path. Thank you very much.
Okay, before you go, Adam, I'm going to let them know to go to my website as well, and I'm going to show that. I'm showing my screen right. What do you see, Adam, right now?
I see your screen.
My screen? Okay, that's good. Do you see the two cameras on the side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. That's where I'm going to post all the information. So it's going to have your website. You can go to FaisalEnsaun.com. There's going to be a lot of videos on beliefs, on analyzing thoughts, on how to accept yourself, and how to change your life for the better. You can go watch all those videos. You can comment on them. You can ask me questions, and I'll personally answer them. Make sure you post your comments here, like Adam said. We'll answer the questions for you, and give us some ideas about how you change your beliefs as well. And until our next video, I hope you guys have a great day, great week, and until then, make sure you take care of your thoughts and beliefs. Adam, any last words?
Own your damn fitness.
Own your fitness. So I think that's it. Let me just stop the recording and I could cut that part out.